Dear students, today we will discuss a new chapter, that is mechanics. Already one part of mechanics we have discussed about force and laws of motion, and while solving numericals on force, you might have got problem. Some of the problems or some of the questions, equations of motion were used, which one you may not know. So let us discuss motion first. What is motion? The motion is coming under the branch mechanics, and mainly mechanics has two branches. One is kinematics, other is dynamics. In kinematics, we are studying the motion without its cause. In dynamics, we are studying the motion with its cause. Now, in details, we will discuss here the kinematics part. Kinematics is the study of motion. We want to study motion. When you want to study motion, how will you study? Suppose you are going to school. You want to describe your motion. How will you describe? You may calculate your distance covered. You may calculate what is your displacement. You may calculate your velocity. You may calculate your acceleration. You may describe your motion by plotting a graph. These all are coming under kinematics. We are not going for the cause of motion. And when we are describing some phenomena in physics, we need some quantities. What I told you, the example of motion. You want to describe motion, you have to use some quantities like speed, distance, displacement, velocity, acceleration. All these are called physical quantities. Physical quantities means the quantities those can be measured directly or indirectly. It may be distance, it may be speed, it may be time, it may be energy, it may be work. The quantities those can be measured. They are called physical quantities. Some of them are there which can be measured directly. Some are there, those can be measured indirectly. Suppose you want to measure the distance between two places on earth. You can measure directly. But if you want to measure the distance between two stars, distance between sun and earth, how will you measure? Those can be measured indirectly. So, those quantities which can be measured directly or indirectly are called physical quantities. And physical quantities can be classified into two categories based on the criteria. Remember, the classification based on certain criteria. Now, we will classify the physical quantities on the basis of their magnitude and direction. And on the basis of magnitude and direction, the physical quantities are classified into two categories, that is scalar quantities and vector quantities. Scalar quantities means there are certain quantities which don't need any direction. The physical quantities having only magnitude are called scalar quantities. Suppose you want to know the distance between two places. Only magnitude is sufficient, direction is not required. Suppose mass of an object. Everywhere it is fixed, in different direction it will not change. So they are called scalar quantities. So number of quantities are there which are having only magnitude, and only magnitude is sufficient to specify them, to describe them, are called scalar quantities. So scalar quantities are those which are having only magnitude. Magnitude means they are having only numerical value and direction is not there. And what about the vector quantities? So some quantities are there which are having both magnitude and direction. They are called vector quantities. Now I will give some example. Suppose a ball is there on the ground. A ball is there on the ground. Suppose you are giving a kick here in this direction. Which direction it will move? If you are giving a kick here, it will go in this direction. If I are giving a kick in this direction, it will go here. And if suppose you give a kick in making some angle, it will go in this direction. You are giving a kick in this direction, so it will go here. That means here the motion of the ball depends on how the force is applied. In which direction force is applied. So here the direction of motion depends upon the force. The direction of the force is important. Which direction force is applied? That direction only the body will move. I will give another example. Suppose a body is there and two forces are applied. In this direction one force, this direction one force. Suppose here 5 Newton, here 3 Newton. What is the net force? The 5, here 3. If one is plus, other is minus. So 2 Newton. Now suppose the same two forces are applied along the same direction. And here the resultant will be 8 Newton. That is, suppose one table is there. Two boys are pushing it in the same direction. Another example, one boy pushing in this direction, other boy is pushing on the other end. Definitely resultant will be different. Which direction it will move, that depends how you are applying the force. So here this quantity like your force, a direction is important. So those quantities having both magnitude and direction, so they are called vector quantities. I will give some example of vector quantities. Force, velocity, acceleration, electric field, magnetic field. They are vector quantities. Scalar quantities, the mass, length, time, temperature, electric current. These are all scalar quantities. And besides the scalars and vectors, there are some quantities having both a magnitude and direction. Still then, they are considered as scalar quantities. Here two criteria I told you, one is magnitude, other is direction. I will give one example. Suppose electric current. Electric current is having both magnitude and direction. Still then, it is considered as a scalar quantity. Why this is? Here comes the third criteria. Besides magnitude and direction, another criteria is there. If the physical quantities do not satisfy that one, they cannot be considered as vectors. That happens in case of electric current. So that criteria is the law of vector addition. The physical quantities, those are having magnitude and direction, and those can be added using the laws of vector addition, are called vector quantities. That means they should satisfy the third criteria. But electric current is not obeying the third one. That's why it is called as a scalar quantity. That means electric current cannot be added using the laws of vector addition. Simply they can be added. By using the ordinary algebra, you can add them. Suppose two wires are there. Here one wire, here another wire. They are meeting at a point. Suppose here current is coming 2 ampere. Here current is 3 ampere. Total current here will be 5 ampere. Just they can be added. Here current is coming 2 ampere. Here 3 ampere. They are meeting at this point. That is called junction in physics. So total current coming here 5 ampere. Similarly, another example I will tell you, that is fluid pressure or liquid pressure. That is having direction, because you know pressure is force by area. Force has a direction, but pressure has no direction. Liquid pressure has no specific direction. Liquid pressure acts in all the directions. That's why it is considered as a scalar quantity, not a vector. So this way you can classify physical quantities as scalars and vectors. Now we can make two columns and write the difference between scalars and vectors. You can make two columns. One column is for scalars, second column is vectors. First point, which is very clear from the definition you can get. First point, scalars have only magnitude. Vectors, in the column of vectors, what do you write? The vectors have both magnitude as well as direction. Second point, the scalars can be added algebraically. Algebraically means using the ordinary laws of algebra. But vectors can be added using the laws of vector addition. Then come to third point. In the third point, scalars change when its magnitude changes, and for vectors, vectors change when either the magnitude changes or direction changes or both changes. So this way you can classify scalars and vectors. And up to class 9, the concept of vectors is not required. Why? Because we are considering only motion in one dimension. I will discuss different types of motion afterwards. Then in one dimension, that means motion along a straight line path. When a body is moving along a straight line path, then only one direction is sufficient. Suppose it is one body is moving towards east, you will take it the distance or displacement as positive. If it is moving towards west, it may be negative. So only two directions, either plus or minus. That is sufficient to express everything. But whenever we are going to study the motion in a plane, motion in space, so the direction is very, very important. So this is all about your scalars and vectors which are required. But more details are there, you will study in your higher classes.